I am Marina, and this is my take on Western civilization. My approach is to talk about what it is, the historiography, and I'll talk about three sources. I actually have a couple more than that. So what is Western civilization? It's this story, I have it simplified, of how people in Europe and America, they learned to live together and shared rules and ideas about freedom. They questioned each other, they built infrastructures, and they basically started a club from people from old Greece and Rome, and they threw in some religious influence that had eventual growth in the English language, and together that made Western civilization more congruous and influential, and also terribly Eurocentric and exceptionalized. So let's go into our historiography. Here you'll notice I have Frederick Jackson Turner dressed as Groucho Marx, kind of making fun of him, but also in respect to his frontier thesis, which many historians now disagree with. Well, so for this question, I immediately turn to him, but I want to first touch on Professor Kerry Roberts and what he said about freedom and liberty, where freedom, has Germanic roots, and then liberty has Roman roots, with rights and duties. And it introduces this concept of human scale, which is this balance in politics and economics and society. And it does reemerge in modern times, except I disagree with that term. I would rather say it was a constant, like air. It's not reemerging. It's just constant. It's always there. So for this question, then, when I thought of Frederick Jackson Turner, he omitted marginalized people, and he talks about this mechanism of the Western frontier happening, and then it was through this frontier. And so you see these new Western civilization as it emerges, comes forth. It's because it has a space to do so. So like we're emerging with artificial intelligence now, and where we're also looking at going into space, maybe Mars. These are new spaces that our old experiences in Western civilization will inhabit. And so it does have modern relevance in that respect. So a highlighting source I want to pick out is one on Lynn, the UCLA historian. And she talks about the development of human rights in the West, which of course, liberty and freedom and, these rights that are developed out of Western civilization. And I bring her up because of her narrative on it, but also because she's a female in a very heavily dominated patriarchal narrative of Western civilization. And so I bring that up because that's also a modern element that highlights this discrepancy that happened in the past that we're working towards changing. So my first source then is from Birken, and Birken, he talks about this concept of Western civilization and that it wasn't a fixed or universal entity, but it was a constructed narrative shaped by specific intellectual traditions. And so you can see where the predominance would come through religion. And a key aspect of that was looking at the biases and the priorities that we have in those eras scholars, which I kind of spoke to you about with Hunt. And then on to our second source, which is from Daniel Hannan, and basically he's talking about, the English language and its origins in the Anglosphere, and how, from his childhood experience in Peru, how he saw that English speaking had stability. And I think what stuck out to me the most is there's only like 5 stable English-speaking countries today outside of America. So that's pretty a profound argument. And then on to our third source, which is a combination of Robert Royal and Kwame Anthony, who basically say that these attributes of liberty and tolerance and rational inquiry, those are not distinctive or a birthright of Western culture. So that's definitely an affront to the way of thinking for modern Western civilization. Thank you for listening.